Have you ever seen a man work on his car in his slippers? If you haven't, today's your lucky day. Comfortable. So hi, welcome back to the channel. Yes, such is my confidence today of fitting this Jackson Racing cold air intake for the 1.8 litre engine. I'm wearing slippers because, you know, why not? Might as well. So, what tools are we going to need for fitting today's precious object? Just a socket set and a screwdriver. Hopefully, that's all we need. So, where do we begin? Now the first thing we need to do is remove the slam panel, and I've got to be honest, I don't really want to remove this, but we have to for airflow purposes, because the thing about this is it's designed for keeping the air directing straight into the rad, but we want air now to come up and in to the Jackson Racing intake. So we're going to have to remove it, and that means removing this sticker, which I don't want gone because, well, I've always liked it. I didn't fit it, but I've always liked it, so let's see if we can come up with something after we're finished. But yeah, let's get this off first. The trusty 10mm. Pop up the lights. So need to pop up the lights. And then out it comes. So now we've got the actual part where we can now put the racing intake in, and you'll be able to see the air coming up through. Next thing to remove to make life easy would just be to take off this from the inlet, and then that way we can dismantle it all on the deck. And there we have it. One very old, very well used Koen air filter. And the only thing we need to keep from this is the math, this bit here. I'll need to take this off of here. This should just pull out from here. There we go, I'll need to make sure I do this the right way around. The next thing we need to do is get the math removed off the old harness, which I have done, and then we need to fit this big block of what I'm assuming is aluminum. And in order to fit that in, because before we put this in, that's got to be attached. So to put this on, it's 4 of these from the inside. I was sitting looking at this going, how the heck do you get this in? But it's literally from the front, from inside it, literally from inside. That's 2 in, and then I'll tighten it all down, and then I think I have some bolts I can use to secure the math. So I've got the silver mount fitted. It's now ready to go back in, but we have a problem. It's a problem I was already a bit concerned about, but we're at the point now where we can start putting everything in, and well, it don't fit. It's hitting off the fan shrouding. So, I mean, even without that on there, I don't think I don't think it would go together. I think maybe you're supposed to take leave the block off, put it in first, and then fit it, which would be an absolute pig of a job. I'm going to try that first and see if it will fit. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I've taken the silver block off. Let's see if this fits. The answer is no. This is going to need a bit of modification. Damn it! We'll be right back. Ta-da! Yeah, obviously it's honesty time and apology time, because I've managed to get the intake more or less fitted into place, and it's taken 2 days all in all. Unfortunately, as you know, I like to film everything, but this was one of these occasions where it all got too much. Literally, it got just... I got completely flustered, I lost track of time, I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It was essentially, I tried to fit it, it wouldn't fit because it wouldn't clear the thermostat housing. So then I had to take it all back out, and I'll talk you through it in a second, but it was just one of those things where basically all the neighbours were out in the street, people started cutting the grass. I only had like what I thought was 2 hours to do the job. It ended up I spent 4.5 hours, and then I gave up. I couldn't fit a damn thing in. I was getting so frustrated, flustered, I gave up filming after like the first 2 hours, because let's be honest, it was basically just me stressing for the best part of 2 hours and cussing and swearing, and you don't really want to see a full feature length 2 hour video of me doing that, surely. You get the idea. So, here we are 2 days later, and the thing that finally put the tin hat on it was wrestling with this damn thing too much. And unfortunately, one of my coolant lines ruptured because it is old, and I have it here. This one ruptured along the back, and it started dripping out. Now, to be completely honest, I mean, look at that. It was already pretty heavily gone, but yeah, it's needed to be changed. In fact, there's where it ruptured. You could see it. I don't know if this will show up on that camera. I'll maybe use the GoPro if you can see it on there, where it actually ruptured in behind there. Now, that one was already heavily perished, so I knew it was going to have to be changed, and to be honest, if it wasn't for the fact that I was in such a hurry to get the Jackson Racing intake fitted, I would probably have already done that. My intention was to buy all the hoses and redo them all, but got too excited, what can I say? I let it go, and I paid the price. So, what I've ended up having to do, well, I've replaced the hose already, as you can see in here, down inside there. That's the hose. It runs from the underside of the thermostat, and it goes up into the throttle body, and that's what was originally wrong. I've also had to drain Scarlett's coolant down, and remove the hose which goes from there to there. I'll put that back in a minute. And the way to get this intake actually in, now I watched the car throttle video where it's like, it took the two of them, you know, what looks like minutes, but I think there was more struggling on that, to be honest, that they just didn't put out there. But the way that they done it was they connected all of this up, this, and the MAF, and then also that block, and put it all in a winner with the Jackson Racing intake already installed in situ, and then thread it underneath the coolant line, and then managed to get the bolts in. Now, that is an absolute pig of a job just to try and get these 4 bolts in. It is a nightmare. I literally came out here this morning and thought, I'm going to spend a bit of time and I'm going to get it done. It just took forever. But in the end, it's finally in, and it is pretty secure. I mean, I think there's a problem with it. Something that should probably have been shaved down, but it's in, and I want to see if we can get Scarlet put back together and just hope that it will be fine. But it's kind of rubbing a wee bit at the back. Oh, and yeah, I know I don't have the support mount that goes in at the back corner, I know. But yeah, it's just been a nightmare trying to get this all sorted, but it is rubbing. As I said there, it's round the back. In behind it, if I can get out of the way, there is this bracket in there. That is connected to the power steering module, and it looks like it's been crudely put on, and actually that is what it's slightly rubbing against, but it's clearing everything else now, so that's the only thing left. But yeah, so with lessons sort of semi-learned, and after ordering more parts than I would have liked, it's time to put everything back together. All I'm going to do now, I'll refill the coolant system up. You don't need to see that, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Refill the coolant, put the air filter together, start her up, bleed the system, and then I'll be back in a jiffy. Et voila! We is all done! Look at that! It's in, and I've actually already had it running for a while just to make sure that the coolant sorts itself out and whatnot. It seems to be working. So, first things first, how about some generic beauty shots? Oh yes, that looks buttery. So, with that out of the way, how does it sound in comparison to the old one? Well, it's just as well that I recorded a bit of before and after, so here we go. That's before, and now let's see how she sounds at startup and revs. Yeah, on that note, we'll call it quits as always. If you have been, thank you very much for watching, and please continue, comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good blah blah.